Hey there, cozy babe, and welcome back to the most cozy, vibey, autumnal channel on this corner of the internet. My name is Kloee Taylor, and today what we are going to be looking at with this pick a card reading is really checking in on your manifestations. We're going to be asking some really important questions about them and basically figuring out if they're coming, if they were a good idea in the first place, and we're just really going to be embracing this next chapter of your life. Now, my readings, of course, are always channeled, unless I tell you otherwise, for the most part, to be timeless. So whenever you come across this reading is when you are meant to receive it. However, today, as it is being filmed, and it will be going out the next day, where I live, we have just hit the spring equinox. For some of you, it may also be the autumn equinox, but with these transitional seasons, they bring with them a new chapter, a new promise, and that is the energy that we are using today to channel this reading from your guides, ascended masters, your angels, and your spiritual team. So if that sounds good to you and you want to check in with your manifestations, this is going to be the reading for you. I promise you will have not seen one like this before because we are answering some pretty intricate questions. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and give you a brief rundown if you've never done a pick a card before. But if you have and you just want to get into your reading, head to the timestamps, of course. This is pile number 1 with a carnelian heart. This is pile number 2. This is pile number 3. This one is like I believe it's a piece of actual like copper. And then this last one is also a carnelian, but it's more of just like a typical stone. I'm actually uncertain of this crystal, but I will put it in here in text once I'm able to look it up because I feel like it starts with an R for some reason, but I cannot remember. But you can pick based on the crystals. You can look at the timestamps and see if any of them have your lucky number. You can also choose based off of the emoji that I put in there with the timestamp, or if you just want to go purely on intuition, which I highly encourage, you can feel free to choose that. Maybe you already felt drawn to something or you see one of your favorite crystals here. Please know that if there is a pile that holds resistance for you, it is often because that pile has a message that you really need to hear. You are also completely allowed to choose more than one. Many of you actually tell me that you will watch my entire video and then you will decide at the end which one was the best for you. So just really feel it out, go with your intuition, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. So starting with pile number 1, of course, I will give you some time with a little bit of some nice vibey music here in the beginning to sit with these cards if you just need a little more time, and then we'll get into it starting from pile number 1. All right, pile number 1. So if you chose the carnelian heart, this is going to be your reading. And we have more cards than just this as well. We're just starting out with these first 5. And each of these cards represent a different part of your manifestation, which I'll tell you about as we go along and kind of suss out the details. So starting over here, the first card I have for you is Imagine, which let me actually show these to you a little bit closer so you can really get a good look here. So we have this card, Imagine. We have Building Blocks. We also have Not For You, which remember, these all represent something different. So we'll get to the bottom of what that is. We have Here and Now, which I really like this card. especially for the spring equinox, because she's sitting on like an egg, and eggs are a huge marker for Ostara, the spring equinox, Easter. Okay, and then we have Clean It Up. So with each of these cards, as I stated before, they all resemble something different about your manifestation. And I'm going to tell you what they each mean. We're going to clarify them with more cards. And then we also have oracle cards that I'll be going over too. So starting out from the beginning here, with this Imagine card, what this Imagine card actually represents is the first question of 5, and that is, have you done everything possible to make this opportunity materialize? Any last minute additions to make? So have you done everything to make this materialize? Number one, when I was sitting with your pile number 1, and like meditating on it, I can tell that you're somebody that really likes to be by the book. You are somebody that likes to really, like, you're cool reading a lot of books and trying a lot of things out. But once you find a method, you're like, this is the method. You get very set in how you're going to do something. And this is not a bad thing. I think you've actually seen a lot of success in your lifetime following this. However, I do feel that in terms of this, have you done everything possible to make the opportunity materialize? I feel like you try to do a lot of cerebral work. Like you try to do a lot of manifesting and using your mind or the power of the imagination. And just that's mainly what your thing is like you try to do a lot of imagining. And this is great, but I want to remind you that manifestation is something you don't turn off. Your actions, your words, your thoughts, they all feed into your life, which is a direct manifestation of how you, like, your dominant vibration. So you don't turn the power of manifestation off. It's not happening when you are just in a ritual state or when you are just doing a manifesting practice. It actually doesn't turn off. And thank goodness we don't have instant manifestation, because if we did, I think a lot of us would feel really weird about that. You know, we have a lot of gobbledygook thoughts that we think all the time that don't manifest. And that's because we don't have instantaneous manifestation. Things can come in very quickly when it matches your dominant frequency or your dominant vibration. But I don't want that to scare you either, because it's not like, oh, if you think about getting into a car crash, you're going to get into a car crash. It doesn't work like that. But I do feel like because you are by the book, you've done a lot of like imagining, meditation, and that's great. That's wonderful. But let's actually see if there's more, right? Has this been all that you should be doing or not? So we have the 7 of Pentacles for you. And the 3 of Cups. So this is interesting. I do feel like you have not done enough. Because the 7 of Pentacles tells me that you definitely feel like you haven't done enough for this. It feels like there's more that could be done. There's more tending. Something I really want to ask you, pile number 1, is, do you ever just let yourself be? Do you ever just let yourself like exist and like be bored? Being bored is actually such a gift that most of us don't allow ourselves to experience, because it's in the boredom, which is like a mini void space, really, that we can actually conceptualize new ideas. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a siren going by my house right now. And whenever I hear sirens, number 1, I always send good energy to wherever that siren is going. But it's also a reminder to, hey, pay attention. So what I'm saying to you right now, your guides are trying to emphasize. So we'll let that pass. You do not always have to be a work in progress. Yes, it's great to want to progress. It's great to want to move yourself forward. But sometimes you get to like a new level, and it's okay to just kind of sit in that level for a little bit before you're ready to pick it up and keep going. Because that is a recipe for burnout, when you're constantly trying to upheave and like change and change and change and change and read all the self-help books and, you know, all of that. Now, don't get me wrong. I will never demonize a self-help book, because I am the queen of reading self-help, but sometimes you will burn out on that. And it's okay to let yourself just be and experience the now. Because I promise you, when you get to where you're trying to go, you will miss this time period of your life. It happens, like, we as humans tend to romanticize the past. It is like a fact known about humans. We tend to romanticize the past even if it was hard. And so I do feel like you've been doing a lot of tending. You, like I said, you're by the book, right? You've been doing a lot of tending. Spirit is also asking you to start working on gathering, if you don't already have like a coven maybe, or a group of close friends that you do your manifestation work with. You are meant to do this in a group setting. So working on meeting others if you don't already have them. And if you already have these people, working on doing things together with others right now would actually amplify your manifestations. It's something that you're missing. Now, the second card here, building blocks. This is actually meant to resemble, are you in the right place? If not, where must you be to seize this moment? So we see you in building blocks, right? Remember I said, you're definitely like an action taker. I don't see you as somebody that's like slowly doing anything. You love to build, you love to rise. Like I'm seeing like rise empires, right? You love to rise empires. You love to do things. You love to get your hands in there. You love to create new things. You love to be like in that self-improvement energy, and you love building. But are you in the right place? I mean, I do see that 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which tells me you might be taking on too much, but only if we see it again. If we see it again when if it comes out, when we pull the extra cards for this card. Ooh, almost dropped the cards. Let's see. Knight of Cups, okay. And the Hanged Man. So Knight of Cups, again, we're back on that romanticizing things. Romanticizing, like I said, always a fun time, always a good time. We love that. But with romanticizing, actually, no, I think this is great. I think you're really bringing your emotions into what you're doing, and that's a powerful thing. It makes your intentions more powerful. The Hanged Man, however, this is about being put on a pause to gain a new perspective. So right now, I do think that you're in the right place, even if you don't feel like it. Like maybe you feel like you've been grinding away for a really long time. And so it's frustrating and you're just like, when am I going to get there? Spirit is actually preparing you for it. Okay. It is coming. You are like getting into the vibration. You are feeling it, but you are on like a forced pause right now so that you can gain a new perspective. Because if you were given everything that you asked for right now and everything that you're trying to be right now, it would overwhelm you. And I know this from personal experience. This has happened to me. Like I have been in a place where I was like trying to manifest 20K months so bad. And I finally hit it for like 3 months concurrently at one point in my career. And I lost it. Like I fumbled it. I fumbled the bag because I couldn't handle it. It was overwhelming to hold that much financial wealth at that time for myself. It was completely overwhelming. Fumbled the bag completely. And I've had to like sit back and gain a new perspective for the last couple of years and really be like re-humbled and like reestablish a spiritual practice. This happens sometimes. If you manifest things too quickly and demand them in, you'll experience them, but you'll feel anxious about it. You'll feel like you need to like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I need to keep it or it's going to go away. You'll fumble it. So right now, your guides are preparing you to not fumble it and to actually build slowly this out. Now, card number 3, not for you. This one is about if you do not try, will you regret it? So honestly, I feel like that's an automatic no. You won't, which is interesting. But here's the thing. The 2 cards I just felt called to pull from the top there. We got the 9 of Cups for you, which is the card of manifestation and contentment, and the Devil. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards on this one. Actually, I'm a little confused here, Spirit. We need some help with this one. What is the, why are you telling us it's going to be a rockin' good time and then it's going to suck basically? 3 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles. here's the thing. You're not thinking big enough. And I know that's hard to hear because maybe the manifestation that you're calling in, it seems really big from where you are right now. But you're not thinking, like, ask yourself the question, especially if this is about money with the 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. These are financial based cards. If this is about money, you need to ask yourself, what if all of your finances were taken care of? Who would you be? What would you do? Because I guarantee you, you are not just going to want to sit on your couch, watch Netflix, and eat snacks. Guaranteed. Those might be days that you'll have, of course, at your own leisure, but that will get boring. It does get boring. And it's almost like that's when life almost really starts, because then you are like, oh, what am I actually passionate about? Is there a cause I could dedicate my time to? Is there something I would want to finance? You know, this is where like we can get into very like charity work, philanthropic work. What causes do you actually want to support? What matters to you within humanity? And I ask you these questions because I really think you're going to get what you ask for. And ultimately, if you do not try, will you regret it? I don't think so, because it said not for you. But I do think if you do try, you are going to get it, but it's actually going to it's not going to feel as good as you had hoped, because there's actually more that you're meant to learn. And so Spirit is saying right now, it's not even that it's not for you. It's that you need to set your sights a little higher. You need to ask yourself, if this came true, who would I actually be? Who would I actually become? And what would I do with my time when this happens? Okay. And then should you go for it? No, sorry. If you try and don't succeed, will you regret it? We have here and now. And if you try and don't succeed, will you regret it? No, you won't. You won't, because with what you're bringing in, you're actually it's going to feel great. But like, if you try and don't succeed, you are still celebrating the journey. This journey that you're on right now is actually bringing you confidence, and it's bringing you stability, just the experience alone. So should you go for it? If you try and don't succeed, will you regret it? No. So even if it doesn't succeed 100%, or you get to this place where you're like, oh, well, what now? Which is normal, happens to most of us. No, it's actually going to give you so much. Like, I think one of the best examples of this, y'all know I'm such a storyteller. I love giving personal example. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'm still going to keep doing me. I'll try to keep it short though. This really reminds me of the energy of when I actually was in the gaming industry for like 7 years. You could look it up. My name was Koffee, Koffee. And you have to type in Coffee Sims to get it, because there's a music artist that came out that's like way more popular than I ever was. And you can find my old channel. I used to stream under that name, and for 7 years, which is funny because 7 is the karmic number, and often cycles end at 7 years, or they reestablish and keep going at 7 years. But I was in the gaming industry for 7 years continuously. And I had a great time. It was a fun time, great part of my career. I thought that, it was what I was meant to be doing. That career got literally ripped away from me in probably like the harshest way. And I ended up getting more into spirituality and doing what I do now. And for a long time, I was really sour about that. I was like, dang, I built this whole empire, and just to watch it fall apart, that was so miserable. That sucked for me. However, if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't know cameras the way I do. I wouldn't know audio the way I do. I wouldn't know how to do my own photography, my own thumbnails, how to read YouTube SEO, search engine optimization. I wouldn't know how to build websites. I wouldn't know. There were so many skills that, like, you don't even realize how YouTubers are their own person show. Like, you have skills coming out your ass when you become a YouTuber, because you have to learn so much. And yes, it is all one step at a time. But if I did not have those 7 years prior to what I'm doing right now, I still could have done all of this. Don't get me wrong. It just would have taken even longer. I came from an experienced and seasoned place. So knowing that, that was helpful. And I think this is really, it might not be like that same experience, but you're actually going to go to your next thing with seasoned experience, with more confidence and a stronger foundation under you. And it's going to bring you back to the present moment, which is fantastic. And then the last question for card number 5 here with Clean It Up is, should you go for it regardless and use whatever happens as a major step on the way to your ultimate dream? Well, knowing what we know right now, yes. But I do think that you need to kind of sharpen your vision a little bit, because we have Clean It Up sitting here. Yeah, it looks like there's some mental chaos that's really stopping you from having it exactly how you want it. So the 8 of Swords is like mental clutter, and the 2 of Wands is, again, you need to dream a little bit bigger. So Spirit is saying yes, go for it. Absolutely, it will come to pass. However, it needs to be bigger, and it needs to be like more clear. You need to bring it into more of a stage of focus. Now, we also have some oracle cards for you that I want to go over too. So we have Compromise. This is just a couple of like angel messages that I have for you. Compromise, which, like, I don't think you need to compromise on your excellence or anything, but there might be a little bit of compromising when it comes to like your time, especially time. I'm hearing like compromising the time that you're spending on what you're doing. You might have to like kind of change things up a little bit, maybe give yourself a little more downtime or a little less downtime if you feel like there's too much. We also have improving health. So right now your guides really want you to focus on your health. And this is not meant to scare you. I do not do medical predictions, but just in general, you know, making sure that you're getting sunlight, making sure that you're getting enough water. You are a complicated houseplant, okay? Making sure you're getting sunlight, getting enough water, taking care of yourself, loving yourself. And I'm not going to tell y'all how to eat, even though I am a certified holistic nutritionist. I am not your certified holistic nutritionist. So I'm not going to tell y'all how to eat. That's up to you. You know, go hire somebody to help you with that if you feel like you need it. But with improving health, you know, just everybody, I feel like, always has something they could choose to improve on with their health, whether it's moving the body more, eating a different way, using more positive affirmation, doing more energy cleansing, drinking more water, getting a certain kind of vitamin, getting a routine checkup. There's always something we could be improving on our health. I feel like that is, oh, sorry, y'all. I didn't realize it was out of focus. I was too busy chatting to notice. But yeah, improving your health, especially because I see like this card, it looks like the energy is surrounding all of her chakras. And then there's like that rainbow at the top. So I do feel like this could be energy work for sure. Okay. And then lastly, we also have a message from the divine, and we have the card of positivity. And it says, if you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear universe, let me always feel gratitude for something, even if a tiny thing, in even the hardest situations. And I gotta tell y'all, also look how like spring this card is. So cute. I gotta tell y'all, recently I've actually been, if you need help with this, I've been streaming on Twitch under the Cozy Babes Club. And every day, actually, we're on day, when you see this, it'll be day 20. Every day we're doing 33 days, and every day we get together and we do a gratitude practice together. So we just write and discuss our gratitude for the day at 2 p.m. Pacific. And every day it's been so nice. I see the same people constantly. You can choose to chat or just choose to lurk. And it's been so good for me. I feel like I actually have an established practice now because we're almost 3 weeks in. And I'm not trying to like, you know, make mental health claims here, but just from my own experience, when I started doing this 20 days ago, I was on the brink of depression. and I feel like a totally different person. My energy feels restored. I feel good. I feel powerful. I feel like truly like a new person. And like, don't knock the power of gratitude until you try it, truly. Don't knock a consistent gratitude practice until you try it. So if you want to be part of that, we're still going for several more days and you need an accountability buddy, please come and join. We also have our Discord where I announce that every single day when I go live. If you want to join, the link for that is always down below. And this is what I have for your reading, pile number 1. So this is all about your manifestation. I hope this gave you some guidance into it. And if you would like to, follow me around the web, please, please, please do so. I have that, obviously, my Twitch link. If you want to join the Patreon, that would mean the world to me. My Patreon, every month, there's extra pick a cards. There is the theme for the month. I go over the astrology for the month on Patreon as well. Like, we're always talking about astrology over there. I do master classes on the Patreon, and every month there's new content, like 3 to 4 new pieces every single month. And I put a lot into that community. Like, y'all really are the backbone on Patreon of everything I do online. So please consider joining it. It supports me as a creator probably better than anywhere else. And I also have my website, which right now I do not have any readings in stock, but I do have a workbook with some meditations. I'm actually working on a tarot course for y'all right now. So that'll be there eventually, sooner rather than later. And there will be early bird prices for that. So make sure you're on my email list, which you can get on my website, KloeTaylor.com. If you want to follow me, I'm at Kloee Taylor everywhere. I really only use Instagram. My other, like my Twitch or my Twitter, I don't use, and my TikTok is private. Like, nobody can even join it anymore. I only really use Instagram and YouTube and Twitch. So those are like the main sources. My Patreon, and of course, and my podcast. How can I forget about that? My podcast, it's called the Cozy Babes Club because it is a community space. And it's on a bit of a hiatus while I've been streaming for these last 33 days, but we're 170 episodes deep. So if you want to listen to that, it's available everywhere you listen to podcasts. And I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I think that's everything. So I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Happy spring or fall, depending on where you live. And I will talk to you in the next one. Please do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Bye. All right, pile number 2, if you chose this crystal, which I just want to show this to you. Look at how cool this crystal even is. Isn't that rad? It's like, it just looks so good. Okay, so this reading is very unique because we are starting out with these 5 cards, but each of them resemble a different part of the reading, and then we'll break it down with more cards. Plus, I have some oracle cards for you as well. So before your reading, I sat with your pile, and what I kind of felt about you, this is how you're also going to know if this is your pile, is that you are currently at a place where you have like a lot of supercharged energy. You feel like you're ready to like move really quickly. Autumn or spring might just like really revitalize your energy. You feel like you can go the distance, specifically in terms of your manifestation. Like, you are really here right now believing that you will get to that finish line, and you really feel like you can go the distance. You're really like hype and excited about, like, I can just feel it. I can feel that energy. And you even got the happy card here. So that also makes a lot of sense to me. But let's go ahead and break this down now. So first and foremost, let me actually show you the cards first, and then we'll go over them. So you got this card, Happy, which I love because she's also sitting on top of like an egg, which pile number 1 also had a card that had an egg in it. And eggs, even if it's like autumn where you are, but because this is being channeled for me with like spring energy, eggs are representational of the spring equinox because they represent birth. And then we have Never Ending Story. It's Never Ending Story. And then we have TikTok. We have Round and Round. And then we have Time to Go. So let's see what this is on. What is this on about? So the first card here, the question that this one actually resembles for us is, have you done everything possible to make the opportunity materialize? Any last minute additions to make? So, I mean, from the card happy, happy, I ultimately feel like you probably have. With your manifestations, you probably have done everything that you possibly can, and now you're just in a waiting phase. But we're going to double check also with the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. Okay. So we have the Hanged Man. Yeah, literally. I said you're in a waiting phase and you got the Hanged Man, which is literally the card that means waiting. And you got it with the Six of Wands, which again, this is like, you see your victory. You see your personal finish line. You're in the right place, right time. You are in the right vibration. Even if you're not like holding this vibration 24/7, you're just doing your best. You're in it. It feels good. It feels right. You don't need to do anything else but keeping your energy there as frequently as possible. Now, card number 2, this one represents, are you in the right place? If not, where must you be to seize the moment? So we do have this never-ending story card, which this card to me, I mean, look at it. She is looking real anguished. They are looking real anguished. They're looking upset. They're looking like they are kind of spiraling a little bit. Maybe their heart just kind of feels like it's not in the right place all the time. And I do want to assure you that when it comes to your manifestations, it's okay if it's not 1000% every single day. You know, just if you change your position by 1 degree, you're still going to be somewhere totally different than where you were previously. That's a guarantee. You know, that's how boats work too. If you're 1 degree off course, you're going to end up somewhere else that you didn't intend to be. So, or like where you intended to be by changing it by 1 degree, right? But never ending story, I do feel like you get caught in a little bit of anguish sometimes over it. But ultimately, with the Empress and Judgment showing up here, the Empress, this is a great card of like abundance, manifestation, seeing something into being, right? The Empress is literally like the pregnant goddess, that it's not about being pregnant, which it could be for you. You might be somebody that's what you're manifesting, but it's about also being like pregnant with creativity, pregnancy of the mind, right? So the Empress is showing up to remind you that you are in the right place at the right time. It's just going to take time, right? To carry a baby, it takes 9 months. It takes time to come fully into alignment with you. And Judgment, this is all about, you know, you will be lifted up. You will get to this place eventually where people are going to ask you how you did it, right? First people boo you, then they ask you how you did it, which definitely always the case, by the way. So if you're in the right place or not, what must you do to seize the moment? Ultimately, just know that you're in a waiting period. And that doesn't mean you need to repeat that to yourself, because I do believe if you keep telling yourself, it's okay, I'm in a waiting period. It's okay, I'm in a waiting period, you'll keep manifesting more waiting. So, you know, just keep trying as often as possible to live in the end. Live in the end. What would your day-to-day look like if you lived in the end result every day? How would you show up? Who would you show up as? What would your day be like? And if there are things you can't physically change right now, change the things that you can. Is there a certain breakfast you would have? Get that breakfast and put it in your house. Is there a routine that you would follow and parts of it that you could bring in? Bring those things in now, because it's going to get you more in that vibration of already having received what you've asked for. And don't be ashamed for feeling like you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Even the people that you look up to for manifestation and law of attraction stuff, they're not perfect. They make mistakes too. They are like, I guarantee you, I'm not going to name drop, because I was like, I could start saying names, but like, I don't know those people personally, so I'm not going to. But like, even myself, like if y'all think I'm always on my manifestation game feeling good all the time, I'm not. I still struggle with my mental health. I still have days that feel bad. Like that is a normal part of the human experience. We are feelers. I mean, shoot, when you come out of the womb, the first thing you do is cry. Think about how like other mammals exist. You know, deer, the first thing they start doing is trying to walk. Humans cry. That's the first thing that we do. And yet here we are suppressing our emotions constantly when they really are our superpower. They are the thing that we are like meant to be adept at, right? So, you know, don't feel bad if you have some feelings. It's okay. You're still headed in the right direction. So the next card, card number 3, if you do not try, will you regret it? We have TikTok. So if you do not try, which you're already trying, but if you don't continue to try, will you regret it? Regret it? No, not necessarily. I mean, I see a yes and no. I think you will always ask yourself, what if, but if, because we have the Chariot, which is the card of destiny, the Page of Cups, which is about like romanticizing where you're headed. And the 8 of Cups is about walking away. So ultimately, I think for you, it could go either way. But I do think that if you choose to walk away now, you are always going to wonder what would have happened in your destiny and in your life if you had just stuck with it. And I think it's worth it keeping the promises to yourself and continuing. It is worth it to keep trying just so you don't have to ask yourself those questions. But ultimately, with this TikTok card, I feel like this actually, you could literally be trying to like manifest TikTok virality. Or it's also about like, this is going to happen sooner than you think. Like you're right on target. There is not much more time before this comes into your life. So like it's like you're 10 feet from gold. Have you ever heard about that? When you're 10 feet from gold, it's like if you had just kept going, if you were digging for gold, if you had just kept going for 10 more feet, you would have hit it. Like just keep going, I think is the ultimate. But I think it's interesting that the 8 of Cups would come up for you though, because I think you're considering walking away and ultimately do what feels right for you, but I don't think you should. Not based on these cards. Now, number 4 here, round and round, is if you try and don't succeed, will you regret it? Wait, isn't that the one that we just read? My bad. If you try, will you regret it? Ultimately, no. And then if you try but don't succeed, will you regret it? No. So I say no because the 9 of Pentacles is having your cake and eating it too. So getting exactly what you asked for and feeling good about it. Justice is like you're getting your comeuppance. You are going to like, nobody's going to be able to say shit to you because you're getting your comeuppance. And the Wheel of Fortune, this is like a dramatic turn in your favor. So no. I also feel like there's no way it's not going to happen at this point, but also even if you failed, you would no, like you will literally get up and try again with round and round. There is no fail for you. Literally, there is no fail. If you decide to take a break, it will just be a break. You will literally get up and do it again. So I'm going to say no. Big no on that one. Okay. And then time to go. Should you go for it regardless and use whatever happens as a major step on the way to your ultimate dream? I mean, I'm going to say, I feel like we already know. I feel like we already know the answer to this, but I'll look at it anyways. Should you go for it regardless? Yes. Okay. We do have the 3 of Swords, which is interesting, but we have Knight of Cups, Magician, and the 3 of Swords. I'm going to look more into this 3 of Swords and see what that's about in a second. But Knight of Cups and the Magician. So the Knight of Cups, this is, once again, you got Page and Knight. So this is like moving forward on your intention. And the Magician, this is literally being a like master manifester, becoming somebody who is like the master of their own life. And we have it paired with time to go, which you'll just know when it's time to look towards something new eventually. But I honestly see this as like literally, I told you, you are willing to go the distance. You are willing to put the energy and the work in to have your manifestation come to pass. You're not willing to give up. This is something that you will continuously strive towards. It might be a big part of your purpose as well. And that's why you feel such an ignition to get it done and to like be a part of it, have it in your life. But the Magician, Knight of Cups, tells me that you should definitely go for it regardless and use whatever happens. Basically, this is going to be like your success story that you tell later on. You're going to tell everybody about all the pitfalls you had, all of the no's that you had, all of the times it didn't work. And then finally, but this is the time it did work. And I mean, that's honestly how the path to success works. Most people think it's just like, oh, here is failure, here is success, and you are in one of them or the other. When in reality, the path to success is just a curved road. And at every curve, there's a failure. So it's just pushing past that failure. I always say, and I will continue to say, your ability to succeed, there is something. There is one thing. Your ability to succeed, and it will determine your ability to succeed, is your bounce back rate. How quickly you are able to see a setback or a failure and say, you know what? Great. Thanks for showing me what I don't want. I got to keep trekking. Your bounce back rate is the thing that will determine your success. So if you're able to see a failure and bounce back, the rate at which you do that will determine how quickly you become successful, because there is not one successful person, maybe like Nepo babies, but there is not one successful person on the face of the planet that has not faced adversity or failure, period. Failure, though, in my opinion, doesn't even exist. It's your bounce back rate of getting up after that failure and trying again. So I have some oracle cards for you as well, but let's actually look at this Three of Swords. Spirit, why'd you give this to us? We don't want this. Why did you give us a Three of Swords? That's interesting. Okay. So the Star, it's getting exactly what you wanted and having a lot of opportunities available to you. I honestly think that when you get what you asked for, it might become a little overwhelming. And I don't think that this is bad. This is great. But like, there's no other way that you're going to learn, period. Like, even in the space of like digital creation, I have told friends and people and colleagues numerous times, once you stop chasing the external validation of what you're trying to do, especially if you're like somebody who creates digitally, speaking to those people that it's about TikTok, when you stop chasing the external validation, or the only way you're going to learn if you refuse to learn that it's not about the external validation is by getting the external validation. And once you get it, you will see the world completely differently, I promise. Because it's really intense at first. And there's like people just like flooding to you, messaging you, commenting on your stuff. It's overwhelming when it happens. And you think that like, this is the best thing ever. This feels so good. It's after that, how you manage yourself and how you manage that quick set of growth that really determines a lot. Because oftentimes it's overwhelming and people that receive that can't handle it. And that's common. Most of us can't handle thousands of eyes looking at us all the time and scrutinizing and criticizing everything that we do. Y'all, I had a comment this last week that was like, my favorite reader has been off, but she's not here. And I always come to your channel and I always regret it because something about like I place too many ads for Tarot Stack on my channel when I don't set the terms of how it works. And sponsorships, like when it comes to entrepreneurship, I don't know why we're having this conversation right now, y'all. I guess because some of y'all might be entrepreneurs and need to hear it. Maybe you're trying to start YouTube. If not, like skip ahead a couple of minutes. But I commented back like, hey, sponsorships really are what puts money in the piggy bank for creators. And if I'm going to be here making free content, this is kind of what I have to do. And I just stated the facts and I meant it intentionally. I was being kind. I was like, but I respect your choice. Like, do what feels right for your energy. And I meant it, like from my heart. I wasn't being snooty or rude. I stated the facts and even was like trying to wish them well out the door, even though they came into my chat all rude. And they commented back, mocked me, still told me I was being ridiculous. And I commented back again and was like, hey, I'm still a person with feelings. Like, if we were face to face, I still would have stated the facts. Like, basically, I wasn't rude to you. I'm not really, but like, that's the shit I'm talking about. This person tried to also tell me that like the comments are made for me to sit there and be criticized and that I didn't have to comment on what they said. And I was just like, are you for real? Like, you came to my house, you colored on my walls with my crayons or with your crayons, and you expect me not to sit there and try to wipe it off? Like, no. So that's what I mean. Like, sometimes you think you want all of this attention, but with all of that attention comes a shitload of criticism. And you're expected, for the most part in society, just to be polite and take it. And you don't have to meet, vinegar with that. You don't have to go out of your way and be hateful and spiteful back. I would actually encourage you not to if you're trying to build a business. But even just like stating your feelings back, you're still often met with contempt. So I would say like, it's definitely going to bring a little bit more of this like unsettling or anxious energy and like self-limiting energy. And that's okay because it teaches you how to work through that. So it's a blessing as well when you start to receive a lot of like criticism or online validation. Sometimes it's a lack of validation, but my point is, this is coming up because I do think at first you're going to be like, what the heck? I got what I wanted. Why does it hurt? And yes, it's going to open a lot of doors for you, but you need to recognize that like, you're not going to be able to be in every conversation, in every room. You're not going to be able to battle every criticism that comes your way when this materializes. Even though people will ask you how you did it and you'll have a lot of support, there's going to be a lot of limitation in your head, not physical limitation, not things actually limiting you. It's going to be a mental limitation that's going to come up with this. And I'm warning you about it now because I think you're not ready for it. And can you ever really be ready unless you've experienced it? Probably not. But just, I don't know. I wish I could be in your ear when this happens so I could be like, no, it's okay. You're doing so good, sweetie. Like, I wish I could just be your cheerleader. So in any case, I still have more cards though. So check this out. We have trust. You do definitely need to trust that this is coming to pass. It is happening. It is happening. And then we also have take action. You've already been doing that. You're already going the distance. You're already putting one foot in front of the other. This is definitely not a time for you right now to keep planning necessarily. Like, yes, clarity is always good, but it's not a time for you to be planning. It's a time for you to be creating and taking action. If you spend more time gathering intel and planning than you do creating, that should be a tip off to you that you need to be more in your creative energy. Especially getting the Empress in your reading, who is like the most creative. Okay, and then lastly, we have a message from your guides, and it says, travel. Let every aspect of this trip unfold in harmony. May divine order arrange and handle every detail. I'll be guided easily and follow the leads as they are shown. So this could also just be like, you're on a journey right now in your life. You are traveling, but it also could be literal travel if you have a trip coming up. Your guides just wanted to leave you with this message. And y'all, that is what I have for your reading. I hope this helped you out, pile number 2. If you would like to hear more from me, please consider joining my Patreon. I put up 3 to 4 new pieces of content every month. We do a monthly theme. I go over the tarot and astrology every month. Recently, I've been adding more pick-a cards that you can't get here over there. I know I'm going to be doing one for the eclipse, so definitely make sure you join. I do master classes there, and I also do this like one series where y'all can ask me questions about like YouTube, Patreon, the podcast, like business related questions. And I actually like sit and mentor. So I like record response videos answering questions. And I've only done one video in that series so far, but I'm planning to do another. And if you join that, you can keep asking questions, like as many as you want, and I will be there to answer them as much as I can. So definitely check that out. It's the place that if you want to support me as a creator, it does the best to support me on Patreon. So please join the Patreon if you want more from me. I also have my Twitch where I'm streaming every single day right now, twitch.tv/𝐘𝐨𝐮'𝐫𝐞. We are currently doing a gratitude practice at 2 p.m. every single day for the next, let's see, 13 days. We're 20 days strong. So if you need an accountability buddy for gratitude, please join in. Link below. My podcast is available to you everywhere. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, it's called the Cozy Babes Club. And is there anything else I want to tell you about? I think that's everything. If you listen to all of this, leave me this emoji in the comments. Leave me this emoji and tell me how this reading felt for you. I would love to hear about your experience, how it related to you. And please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Bye. All right, pile number 3. If you chose this pile with the copper orb, this is going to be your reading. And before we even get into it, I do want to say this is not an ad either. This is part of your reading. The energy I was getting for your reading before, when I sat with it and really wanted to feel it out, I really am getting that you are in your divine feminine energy. You are focused on divine feminine energy. Whether you are male, female, in betwixt and in between, you are really working on your divine feminine side. You are working on getting into your divine feminine energy, your receiving energy, and it's the vibe, literally. I could just feel that you're feeling very powerful and in it. You might be, anything that really gets you into feeling it is what matters. I just want to say, if wearing flowy dresses and walking barefoot outside is what does it for you, do that. But that's not how everybody's feminine energy shows up for them. You can do all those nice things for yourself, but if you're not doing those things, it doesn't make you any less feminine. So do what feels right for you to step into that. But I really feel like that's where your energy has been. You've been wanting to manifest with the feminine, which is a more laid back approach. It is a more sitting and receiving, resting, asking, expressing your desires, and then letting them come to you versus taking all of this intense action. So that's really where I feel like you're vibing right now, but I just wanted to point that out. Now, each of these cards here represent a different question for your reading that we're going to clarify, get more cards for. But starting with the first card here, let me just show these all to you. We have a leg up. We have orphaned. We have the card of Treasure Island. We have Poised. And we have Exchange Gifts, which is funny because the Divine Feminine is all about receptive energy and receiving gifts. So I find that really interesting. But let's go ahead and see what each of these represent now, because I let you know that each of them represent a different sector of the reading, and we're going to break them down with more cards, and then I have oracle cards for you too. So the first card that says leg up, this one, we're basically asking, have you done everything possible to make this opportunity materialize? Any last minute additions that you need to make? So I do feel like whatever it is that you're trying to ask, you are in a position right now where you actually have a leg up in the situation. So with your feminine energy manifesting, maybe you're in a position and you're being asked to express a little more gratitude for where you are right now. But let's go ahead and actually, pull a few more cards. Obviously, connecting with gratitude, if you're in a low place, can be really hard. I would encourage you to join my Twitch stream if you're struggling with this right now. I'm the Cozy Babes Club on Twitch. I stream every day at 2 p.m. Pacific, and we actually do a gratitude practice together as a community every day. I've been going live. This is now 20 days, and we're going for 33. So if you want to be a part of that, definitely, especially if you need an accountability person, you don't have to talk in the chat. If you don't want to, you can just lurk and be a part of it. but I would genuinely love to have you as part of that. So if you feel like you need to step more into that gratitude, it's a good place to go for it. But with the leg up, I do feel like you are starting from a place of having an advantage. Like maybe you have more free time than you realize, or maybe you have access to a little bit more. Maybe you have like items that make you feel more feminine than you previously did. Like you actually have a leg up somehow in this, but let's see if you've done everything. So we have Queen of Cups, Four of Wands. So the two things that you need to do a little bit more to make this manifestation, the things you're working on, come in more is, number one, you need to have an intuitive practice. So this could be having devotional time every day. This could be, doing witchcraft, doing meditation. This could be, and I respect not everybody is a meditation fan. I get that. I always recommend, if you're not somebody who likes to meditate, but you like the idea, check out Superhuman, the app. Not sponsored. I wish it was. I love Superhuman. I've recommended them to so many people. They don't do meditations. They do something called activations. And I think they're better than meditations. So definitely check that out if you feel like you need help. I think the first 2 weeks is like a free trial. And if you've gone long enough after the trial, if you've canceled it, you can actually do another 2 weeks apparently. Like they give you another 2 weeks free. So definitely check that out. Again, not sponsored or anything, but I genuinely just love them. Like I pay out of pocket for their service because I love it. But with the Queen of Cups coming out, this to me states that you need to be a little bit more about honoring your intuition, because the divine feminine energy is intuitive. Excuse me. Then we also have the Four of Wands. You got to rely on your support system a little bit more. The Four of Wands is like celebrating with family. And this, family doesn't have to be blood. It can be your best friends. It can be your lover, your partner, but actually relying on family a little bit more and not doing everything yourself. I think that this is like when we are in the wounded feminine, we feel like we have to do everything ourselves. And I think it's like, what's her name? Margarita something. She's here on YouTube. I love her. She talks about like basically how you become the cow. Like not cow, like, oh, you're fat, haha, but like you become the work cow. Like you are doing everything. You have no energy for yourself. You feel like you have to do it all because nobody does it like you do. And I'm just going to say it, especially you ladies, if this is you and you're in like a heteronormative relationship, if you want it done the way you wanted it done for the rest of your life, you should have married yourself. That was like the hardest pill I think I've ever had to swallow in my marriage. And it actually shifted so many things for me. And I feel like I live more in my divine feminine receiving energy since I dropped the expectation and started praising my partner for the things that he was doing that I liked versus smacking him into the ground constantly and berating him and criticizing him for the things that he wasn't doing like me. If you wanted it done the way you wanted it done, you should have married yourself. But relying on family, relying on the masculine energy more. If you're single, I would say like making room for this person to come into your life if you're wanting to attract them. Obviously this message right here, I'm going to tell you, it's for the girly pops. And it's not because like if you're a cis female that you're the only person who can be in their divine feminine. I just feel like this reading in particular is for the girly pops. So if you are somebody that is not that or does not identify that way, I don't think this is your reading and you might want to pick again. I'm just feeling a really strong connection to this reading with that. Also, my energy is not for everyone, so it's okay. It's okay if it's not. No need to comment about it. The next question we have here is, are you in the right place? If not, where must you be to seize the moment? So we have the Two of Swords and the Page of Cups. You are not in the right place at the right time right now. And ultimately, you're literally getting told that you need to be more in your intuition, be more into romanticizing the good parts of your life. I cannot express the gratitude part of this more. Your guides are being pretty persistent that you need to be showing more gratitude for the things that you have in your life, and that you need to be connecting with your intuition and expecting good things. You definitely always expect the worst from people around you. You might catastrophize a lot, which, like, obviously sometimes that comes down to mental health. And I would encourage you to seek mental health professionals, not tarot card readers, if you feel like you need that kind of support. But with the Page of Cups, what I am seeing is that you don't expect good things. You always expect to be put in a difficult position, probably because you have been in your life multiple times. And that's nothing to be ashamed of or berate yourself for, but ultimately you just want to feel safe. The feminine energy wants to feel safe. And you don't feel safe. You feel like everything constantly is getting messed up. You're afraid of abandonment as well. So you'll overcommit yourself to things. You'll overcommit yourself to people. And you're afraid ultimately that you will end up alone. And that's like a primal, I need you to know that that's nothing to be afraid of or ashamed of. Back, like, ancestrally speaking, if you did something that went against the tribe or you were too different, they would just exile you and you would be alone and you would most likely die, because you would starve without your tribe, right? You would starve, or a wild animal could get you, or there are so many reasons that we as a people, we are a social species. So our biggest fear is being alone. I mean, I feel like, honestly, even in death, most of us that fear death, we're just afraid of going into like total aloneness. We are a very social species. Even if you're an introvert, you're still part of a social species. Like, you can be somebody that loves to vibe by yourself, but if you were literally the last person on the planet and it was just you alone forever, you would run out of feeling good about that. I promise. And I don't know why I'm over explaining it. Apologies. I don't need to over explain it, but I think it's because I hear sometimes when you read tarot cards, y'all, for a group, you can hear the naysayers. You can hear the people that are opposing it before it even happens. At least I can. And so I try to like prove everybody wrong when I don't need to. I can just vibe. That I'm saying that more for myself than for you. But basically what needs to be done is you have to start getting into a place where you expect good things to happen to you. And that's going to take work. It's going to take effort. It's not something that you're just going to pick that up one day and never catastrophize another day in your life. It takes effort to overcome a catastrophizing mindset, because oftentimes it is at the result of trauma, right? You catastrophize because you've had bad things happen to you before. But in order to change those neural pathways in your mind, first of all, you need to know that it is possible. It's not made for special people. It's not made for somebody with something more unique and less traumatic. It is possible for everyone. And you are not like absent from that. You are part of the all. It is possible for you. You can change the neuroplasticity in your mind. It just takes more effort, more focus. And remember, every time you start to catastrophize, this actually really helps me, so I'm just going to mention it. Remind yourself that every time it comes up, this is how you heal. You heal it by feeling it. This is how you heal. This is how I work through it, is when it comes up, it is always an opportunity for me to choose a different thought, to choose a different direction, to choose something else. Every time this thought comes up or I want to catastrophize, it's an opportunity for me to heal through it. And that has actually, like, that thought has saved my life numerous times. Okay, number 3, if you do not try, will you regret it? We have Treasure Island. Yes, you will. If you do not try to put energy towards your manifestation right now and what you're manifesting, you will regret it, because you will receive confidence and opportunities out the ass. Pile number 1, I think, had these same cards. So the piles might be linked if you want to watch the other one. Treasure Island, you're literally set to receive such an amazing gift. Something so amazing that, like, the idea behind Treasure Island is like, look at how there's this turtle with a treasure box. Just chill. Right? Just chilling. Just chilling. The idea behind this is that you don't see that every day. It's like a random miracle. You will be disappointed if you do not. You will regret it. If you do not try, you will regret it. So keep trying. Keep moving forward. Keep doing these things that are suggested to you to work through. Okay. The next question is, if you try and don't succeed, will you regret it? So even if you succeed, we have the poised card, which I actually want to look at the book for this one because I don't see it very often. So I'm not familiar with it, but we're just going to, excuse me, still sick 7 weeks later. I'm sure not contagious anymore though, which is great. Okay. Being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best confidence. You can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to. Your skills are sharp, and you've come to this place armed with wisdom, knowledge, and a sense of a new phase of life about to begin. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. So basically, if you try and don't succeed, will you regret it? Honestly, I need more cards. Here's the thing. You're not going to fail. And that's what I'm getting from poised. You already can tell that it will happen if you listen to your intuition. Here's the thing is you won't fail. Because if you did fail, I do think you would be disappointed with how much work you have cut out for yourself. It might feel like you're burnt out or like you've taken on too much. But ultimately, with the poised card alone, you're not going to fail. So you don't really need to think about this. This is you catastrophizing up in this reading right now. Don't even look at that. Knight of Wands. Ultimately, yes. Even if you failed, no, you won't regret it because you will have learned something along the way. And ultimately, you're not going to fail. I didn't even need to pull cards on that. Should you go for it regardless and use whatever happens as a major step on the way to your ultimate dream? Yes. I don't even need to pull more cards because we got exchanging gifts, but I'll do it anyways. These cards aren't even pertinent to this reading. Like the energy is just dead for this deck right now. I don't even need more. Should you go for it regardless? Yes. And use whatever happens as a major step on the way to your ultimate dream? Yes. So whatever it is that you're manifesting right now, you do need to keep pursuing it. You feel it. You don't even need to be here in this reading. You don't need more. I promise you. I can tell because I can feel your energy. You don't truly, I don't know that I've ever had this happen in a reading. Somebody in here has very intense energy in a positive way. You already know that it's going to happen. You're already living in the end. You're already feeling good. You already know the pathway to get to that if you're not for whatever reason. Yeah. We have a few extra cards here as well that are just some oracle cards. The reason you know is because you've put so much work and intention into it. It's going to happen within the next 2 weeks. I'm saying 2 weeks. Whatever you've been manifesting, it's coming in the next 2 weeks. I want you to keep yourself in that high vibrational state because as often or as frequently as you can, because it will bring it in even faster. But literally within the next 2 weeks, you're going to be receiving your manifestation. This reading really took a turn for the better. If you believe, so that's why, you already do. But it's also stating if you believe it's going to happen, then it will. Period. If you believe it's going to happen, then it will. Because I do feel like some manifestations are that might not be the best thing and you can't see the big picture and people get really caught up in that. You're being told that this is definitely for you. What you are manifesting, why you were led to this reading, you needed to be told that it was for you. This is for you. This is something that is coming. It will be happening within the next 2 weeks. It's literally a gift from the universe that you have continuously set intention on and asked for. And then we also have randomly, this is so random, pile number 3, as your extra spirit guide message, we have the card of aging. And it says, I am one with unlimited love, beyond all seeming restrictions of age. I am filled with joy, energy, and beauty, a vessel for the divine Shakti. I feel like if you have felt like any ounce of low self-esteem or like fear of age or ageism, or especially if you are somebody that is a girly pop, which I said this reading was for y'all, girly pops, we're not often allowed to age in society. That's like a common issue. We don't celebrate the elders. And I honestly think that like you could be part of the people that change that, as you change it within yourself, as you don't fear aging, as you embrace the beauty of aging and how lucky you are to even be allowed to age. That will shift and change. But you also, I think, just needed to be told that you're beautiful. Like, I don't know, pile number 3, if you've been really struggling with that, maybe you needed to be told that you are so beautiful. And it's like, also your worthiness is not tied to your beauty. Like, you are so beautiful as you are right now. No matter if you try to change something about your physical appearance or your body, you never stopped being beautiful, period. I was just waiting to see if Spirit had anything else that they wanted to say. I don't think so. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want more from me, please check out my Patreon. It's the best way to support me as an artiste, as a creator who makes free content here, unless it's sponsored, which this one is not. Please support my Patreon. I put out pick a cards over there. I put out extra content over there. I do mentorship over there in like a video sit down style where I mentor y'all. When you can ask questions about the YouTube space. Sorry, there's a bug in here. You can ask questions about the YouTube space, podcasting, Patreon, and I sit down and make videos. I'm doing another one soon, and you can ask questions underneath the original video. So I do mentorship if you feel like you need that. I highly recommend it. I'm like a very seasoned digital creator, and I feel like I have a lot of opinions and things to say and things to share that actually help. So definitely check that out. I do tarot and astrology every single month, the theme of the month. You get extra pick a cards, and it's a good time. So check it out. And I also have my podcast. We're 170 episodes in. It's called the Cozy Babes Club, and it's available everywhere you listen to podcasts. I also have, of course, my Instagram, my stream, if you want to join that. It's also the Cozy Babes Club. Links for everything down below. I also have made like a workbook. I'm working currently on getting a tarot course together for y'all on my website, KhloeTaylor.com. And that is everything. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Bye. All right, pile number 4. If you chose this carnelian here, this is going to be your reading. So you can see we already have some cards pulled out, which each of these cards resemble something different in the reading, and I'll go over that. But first and foremost, when I was sitting with your reading, I really felt like this pile, you are manifesting love. You are either manifesting like your actual partnership right now getting better. You're manifesting more like loyalty, or like somebody being loyal. You might be manifesting a soulmate. I really felt like this pile was coming in strong with love. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what that's about. And let me show you these first 5 cards a little closer, and then we'll get into what each of them are about. So we have mending. Also, can I just say, your cards out of everybody today are like the most pretty. Like, they have the most color in them. Truth be told, we have blessed. Hashtag feeling Baja blessed. We have flexible. And we have a change in the wind. Funny, I was actually saying that to myself today. It's a really nice day here. It's a beautiful Pacific Northwest day. And I was sitting outside getting some nice sunbathing going on. And I noticed that the wind usually comes from like the southeast, and it was coming from the northeast. And I was like, oh, a change of the winds. Like, you can actually feel that when it happens if you're outside. So it's just kind of crazy. And that's like something that like, natives and stuff would use that. They would like go outside and be like, oh, the winds have changed. This is what this means. You could use that to divine. So really cool. Anyways, this first card, let's go over her first. And I will be using clarifiers too on these to get more messages. But this first card of mending, this is asking, have you done everything possible to make this opportunity materialize? Any last minute additions to make? So I do feel like you maybe have suffered a heartbreak and you are on the path to mending right now. And maybe that's why, like, it could be, within your relationship, your partner just like acting a fool, or y'all like kind of being in a disagreement. If you're single, this could be like you've had your heart broken before. And let's see, if I feel like it's pretty clear indication that some mending or some relationship repair is needed right now at this time in order to move forward. That I feel like that's just a given. But we have the Fool and we have the Ace of Coins. So I'm wondering if there was a disagreement about finances, or maybe like one person wanted more independence and didn't feel like they had it, or you're struggling financially with this person, or your past relationship ended because you just didn't feel like yourself. And I do feel like right now, this is what you need. You are requiring more independence, either on your own if you're single, and if you're in a relationship, you are requiring interdependence, which is when you are together, but you have your own autonomy, your own independence within the relationship. The Ace of Coins tells me that you also need to be seeking new financial opportunities right now. Maybe you need to find a new job. You need to find like a promotion that works better for you, or a new side hustle if that's what you're into. There's a couple of things that need to be done to get your manifestation to come in. Now, truth be told, this card represents, are you in the right place? If not, where must you be to seize the moment? So you need to be more honest with yourself, number one, with truth be told, and ask yourself, are you actually open? Are you actually open if your partner or a future partner were to come into your life right now and be who you wanted them to be? Are you ready? Because excuse me, because oftentimes, especially if you're in a relationship already, we don't let our partners grow. We will actually be the people that will like criticize or keep them stuck as past versions of themselves. 𝐘𝐨𝐮'𝐫𝐞, I think is how you say her name, here on YouTube actually talks about this, how sometimes we're the people that project onto our partner a past version of them and berate them for things that they've been trying to change. And if you're single, this is also asking yourself, if this person showed up today, would you feel like you're ready to commit? Would you feel like you're ready to lock that down and be with somebody, or add them to your relationship? Maybe you're poly. We always want to make room for everybody here in that regard. But with truth be told, I do feel like there is some honesty that's missing with yourself. So are you in the right place? I think you could be, but we have the the Queen of Cups and Four of Wands. I think these two cards also came out in the last reading. So they could be linked if you want to listen to pile 3. Queen of Cups, this is about advancing on your intuition and also letting yourself be supported by family, but also build a better foundation for yourself. All right, who's coming in here with the throat chakra? Because my energy with this throat chakra is not feeling good right now, and I know it's not me. Okay, my throat chakra and me, we are always on point. I feel like the only chakra Kloee Taylor ever really struggles with is the solar plexus. So I know it's not me. One of y'all needs to open up that voice. Are you in the right place? If not, where must you be to seize the moment? Ultimately, spending more time with family, more time at home, maybe even being a homebody, more time honoring your intuition and your emotions. Okay, you need to be more honest about this. It's okay. You don't have to say yes to every person that wants you to go out right now. And you also need to trust your intuition a little bit more. If your intuition is telling you to say no, don't be such a people pleaser. Say no. I know that's easier said than done. We are a society sick with people pleasing, but I promise it is possible and it is safe for you to say no. Okay, so next we have, if you do not try to manifest what you want, will you regret it? I think you know that you're blessed regardless with that blessed card. You will regret it though. You will regret it because we have the Five of Swords, which is the card of regrets. Literally, it's the card of regrets. Regretting what you've said, what you've done, what you did, or what you didn't do. And the Queen of Pentacles is nice because she is more about like nurturing and taking care of yourself. So I feel like ultimately with this, if you don't try to manifest this like loyalty, this secure relationship, will you regret it? Ultimately, it's both. Yes, because I do feel like you genuinely don't want to be alone. And I do feel like you're going to fall more into victimhood the longer you wait. But no, at the same time, because we have the Queen of Pentacles here. And the Queen of Pentacles is about somebody who's giving more time and energy to themselves. And I do feel like you already know that you are blessed. You already know that you stand prayed up and blessed, okay? So I feel like this one, honestly, it kind of depends on where you are. We're getting a split message of yes and no. Now, the next position, flexible, is if you try and don't succeed, will you regret it? So if you try and it fails, no, you won't. Even if you get into another relationship or even with this person, if you're with someone and things don't work out the way you hope, no, you won't regret it because ultimately you will expand in some way. You will expand your horizons. You will learn something about yourself. And I think in every reading, the Queen of Wands has come out today. She has been like a force to be reckoned with today. She is all about confidence and having confidence. So ultimately, no, you won't regret it. I do feel like you're being asked to be a little more flexible though, especially those of you that are in relationships. That want more like loyalty and such. Not that you need to allow cheating. Please don't ever allow that if that's not something you're cool with in your relationship. Like if you don't have an open relationship, do not allow somebody to do that to you. But with flexible, maybe being more flexible about some things. If there's like a way that y'all run your household, or if you feel like, you know, maybe they're trying to do things the way that you ask, but it's not perfect. And so you're like very rigid and it has to be like this or they're trash, throw the whole person away, right? Be a little bit more flexible, less rigid. Ultimately though, I don't see that if this fails that you'll regret it because I think along the way you're going to learn too much about yourself, expand yourself so much, and also gain more clarity and confidence that it will have been worth it anyways. So honestly, you really can't fail here. And then we have, should you go for it regardless and use whatever happens as a major step on the way to the ultimate dream? I feel like we already know the answer to this, and it would be yes, based on the other things that we've gotten so far. But should you go for it regardless and use whatever happens as a major stepping stone? We got a change in the wind. So I would say also yes, because it's going to change your perspective. And we have this with the Three of Cups and the Lovers. Either one of two things is going to happen, pile number 4. You are either going to manifest the right support to help you through this, or you're actually going to manifest like the perfect person for you, or your partner and you are actually going to become closer. The Lovers tells me that like y'all are committed to doing the work either with your next partner, and if you're in a relationship and you're trying to salvage it, they will become somebody that's more equally matched with you. Things are going to improve. And with the Three of Cups, the Three of Cups is having divine support, but it's also having support emotionally from your circle of friends, and a change in the winds when it comes to this. So ultimately, yes, you should go for it. I don't know that anybody has gotten a no today that they shouldn't go for it. Ultimately, yes, go for it. You have nothing to lose here and only good things to gain. And we do also have some oracle cards for you that I want to take a look at. So we also have just a couple of angel messages and then another, you'll see what I mean in a sec. Okay, so we also have the card of forgiveness. I do think a lot of you that chose this pile are in relationships. Not everyone. I can feel the energy of some singles here, but I think a lot of you are in relationships and you need to be more forgiving of your partner and of yourself. Now, please, for the love, do not let yourself be a doormat. You know if this message is for you or not. Do not let yourself be a doormat. Do not let somebody stamp all over your heart and disrespect you. Like, you do not have to forgive every person if, like, you know, if this message is for you. But if it's just little things and they still, like, I think the question, you know, as somebody that's been in a relationship for 16 years, relatively like happy, good one most of the time, I would say our baseline is like togetherness and joy and like playfulness. Not that we haven't seen hard times. The thing that I can say is, like, I always ask myself, is he making my life easier? Is he lightening my load? And like, it goes both ways. It's not about just him carrying everything. I am with a male partner, but you know, is he making my life better? Is he bringing more peace to my life? Or is he bringing more contempt than peace? Because that's how you're going to know if this is for you. If he's bringing you more contempt than peace in your life, no, throw the whole man away. Okay. Throw the whole woman away, throw the whole person away. But if they're bringing you more peace and this is just a disagreement and an upset that y'all need to work through, maybe forgiveness could be on the table. And remember, if this is a relationship worth fighting for, it's not you versus them. It's you and them versus the problem. And just ask yourself that question. Do they bring you peace? Do they make your life easier? Do they lighten your load? Do you feel lighter when you're with them? Another good thing to do if you're unsure if this is for you is to ask your body. If your body doesn't feel good, that's a clear indication that something's not right. Your body always knows. It will always tell you. Okay, then we also have romance. See, I told y'all you were manifesting romance and like love. So Spirit is saying that you also need to bring like the intimacy and the romance back to the relationship. And it's not your responsibility solely. It's on them too. If you are also wanting to manifest a partner, a soulmate, and you're one of the singles that's here, I want you to know that romance is coming. Like, actually, both of y'all, singles and taken, the romance is coming back. The romance is shifting more towards you now, especially with the Lovers card showing up in your reading. Like, romance is something that maybe is missing if you're in a relationship, and that's something that needs to be manifested back. Okay, and then we also have for you the card of creative blocks, which says, if you are an artist of any kind, you can offer all work to the divine, making it the universe's alone. I offer this for the highest good, to be benefit to the planet. Release me from any blocks and restrictions. May this serve all who need. So what's really interesting is it's not about you being creatively blocked right now. Some of you might be, but it's about, like, if you feel like there are blocks in the relationship or blocks in manifesting a person or what you want, you need to literally go to the divine and be like, yo, wherever you go, if you're outside, if you have a little altar space, if you have a prayer corner, whatever you've got, go to the divine and just say that. Just say, you know, I offer this to the divine. I offer this relationship or this person that I'm manifesting to the divine. And if they are good for me, if they are meant for me, please, like, help us to reconnect and work through it. Help this person to come into my life. Show me who I need to become in order to have this type of loyal person. Okay. So I feel like you think that you're blocked or cursed or stuck. You're not. You just need to ask for help and release the expectations on yourself. And that is the reading that I have for you, pile number 4. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to support me as a creator, which I would so much appreciate, please consider joining my Patreon. I put out new content every single month. We have a mentorship series where I help you with creating your online world. You can ask me any questions. And as a seasoned creator, I've definitely got a lot of answers. We do tarot and astrology every month, pick a cards that you don't get anywhere else, and a tarot like theme every month. I also host master classes over on my Patreon that if you join, you get access to over like 400 posts that are already there. So totally worth it in my opinion. Definitely check it out. I would love to have your support on Patreon. And I also have my Instagram. I'm at Kloee Taylor, my podcast, the Cozy Babes Club. You can listen on any platform. We're 170 episodes deep. It's a great show. I love my podcast. And if you would like to get a course, book a reading, anything like that, join my mailing list, head to KloeTaylor.com. I'm currently working on getting a tarot course together for y'all, which if you're on my mailing list, you will end up getting the early bird price like sent to you directly. So make sure you're on that whenever that drops. There will be like early enrollment pricing. So that is all that I have for you, though. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.